Hey everybody, welcome to Dad's Den, and I'm coming at you today with a book review. Jarret Keene's The Guns of Goblin Valley, a Kid Crimson Western. This is kind of book 2 in the Kid Crimson trilogy, and it's a really groovy book. You could find my review for the first book if you want a little bit of background on the character, but essentially, he's a gunfighter who operates in Virginia City, Nevada, and he has a pretty tortured history. Grew up in Georgia, was the son of a very abusive and murderous father. He somehow made his way to Virginia City, and he now has as his quest earning enough money to buy a grapefruit orchard in California and take the woman he loves, Poppy, who runs the essentially the opium den in Virginia City, and a couple adopted kids to that orchard to live in peace. But he's haunted by what he calls the monster that lives within him. And he hates that side of himself, but it's also the side that makes him the gunfighter he is. And he uses that skill to make money. So he's kind of in a catch-22 there. This is a good continuation of the first book, which was a fun adventure. This one maybe even more so. Just as bloody, just as risque in parts. We meet a couple new characters in this one. A woman by the name of Nellie, a knife thrower from the circus who teams up with him, and you could kind of see her on the cover of the book there. Yeah, that's an armored war elephant. It all folds together. Now, these books are there's a real core of reality and realism to them in terms of the times we're talking about. This is set during the Civil War. The Union, the Confederacy are involved, and especially involved in this story. You also have involvement from the Mormons, and it pulls no punches on these different factions and what they've done to each other and what they're planning to do to each other. Nobody's an angel in this book, and nobody gets away scot-free with a perfect reputation, Kid Crimson included. So the book involves information that the Mormons have set up a foundry to make cannons in Goblin Valley. And I'll admit, and I've lived in Las Vegas almost my entire life, so I'm in the general area. I'd never heard of Goblin Valley. It is a valley with stone that has been shaped by the wind into all sorts of odd shapes, hence the name Goblin Valley. So Crimson hooks up with Nellie and some others along the way to figure out, are they actually making cannons, and who are they making them for? And along the way, they meet this man who's like a self-proclaimed monk priest living in these weird caves with a very sinister reputation. Great character, very interesting. And the final new character to round this thing out, well, there are a few more, but the big one is a French aristocrat named Polignac, who is working for the Confederacy, and he is a great foil for Kid Crimson, and not a man to be trifled with. Probably more so than in the last book. This guy is, to be frank, not just as good as Kid Crimson, maybe a little bit better. And it takes something to defeat him. Let's read a little bit from the book. I always like to do this, just read a quick paragraph so you can get an idea of how the book is written. And now you're going to see what a guy who forgets his bifocals at work has to do. It's the double glasses method of bifocals. I look like an idiot, but it actually works. Now let's see here if I can find the piece that where we go. This involves a confrontation between Kid Crimson and some rowdy miners in a saloon that he's paid to protect. I'd smithereened the chair against their friend's skull, but the wooden stile remained in my grip. I whipped it across the teeth of another ingrate, his blood splashing the eyes of the man beside him. Then I boot-stomped the kneecap of the mouth-lashed miner, putting him down. His friend wiped gore from his vision in time to catch my fist with his chin, which sent him crashing into a faro table, playing cards fluttering in the air. He was knocked out cold. The fifth miner went running for the batwing doors, but Jericho had heard there was mayhem occurring. He grabbed the miner by the throat and choked him into submission. For the fight's duration, maybe 30 seconds, the first miner, whose hand I'd impaled, never ceased screaming. He finally yanked the knife free, but when he studied that blade and saw blood pouring from his wound, he gasped and keeled over from sheer fright. That gives you an idea of how bloody this book can be and the way the action scenes are narrated. And I think I was starting to say earlier, this is there's a great deal, there's a core of realism in this, very good characters, but also there's aspects of Western, I guess I can take my silly glasses off. There's aspects of Western comic books in this. There's aspects of Western films. They're fun. These are fun books, and they can get very serious at times. Really delves into the characters, brings a lot of meaning to them, especially with Kid Crimson. A great cast of side characters with a lot of personality and a lot of heart. The Guns of Goblin Valley, highly recommend this one as well as the first, and I'm now reading the third, the finale. This book brings Crimson's father more into play. He's a very evil man, and he's part of an organization that would like to see slavery spread over the entire United States, maybe beyond that even. And so we get a little bit more of him here and his connections, maybe, with Nellie. He's going to be even more involved in the third book, which I'm about 4 chapters in at this point. So, Jarret Keene, The Guns of Goblin Valley, a Kid Crimson Western. Give it a look. Try it out. I think you'll like it. Probably should read the first book first, although to be completely honest, you could probably get away with not doing that. This is a new story. They reference the first book. You could probably catch up if you had to, but the first book's a great read, and I suggest you read it one way or the other. That'll do it for this book review. Thumbs up for The Guns of Goblin Valley. If you've read it and have some comments on it, like it or dislike it, throw it in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you, get a conversation going. If you have any questions about the books, or the whole series, let me know there, and I'll answer it if I can. I'll try to avoid any spoilers. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. Until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there, and I'll hopefully see you again soon in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.